This one is in really mint shape. Did you see that?
No, haven't even looked at this truck. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you just scratched the paint. Whoops. There goes $200 off the value.
So we are doing a shorty build.
Shorty build.
So what's up with this utility bed, man? What are we doing with that?
I think that's just going to come off and go right to the scrapyard. A real build goes down to a bare frame.
Welcome back to yet another awesome episode on the channel. This is the moment that we've been waiting for, and literally this video has taken me, or this build journey has taken me about 2 years to complete. So what you are about to see in this video is the full complete reveal on the 2004 GMC Sierra with a 6.6 liter Duramax. It originally came in with an 8-foot bed or a 8-foot utility bed, and we converted this thing down to accept a 6.5-foot bed, which is dubbed the Shorty Duramax. If you guys don't know, GM never actually came out with this configuration with it being a short bed single cab with a diesel in it. Let's go ahead and fast forward into this video. We entered in this truck to a car show in Milwaukee, the Autorama to be exact, and we're gonna go ahead and see if we win first place. Not only are we gonna showcase this build, but we're also gonna talk about the short bed dually that we built on the channel as well. A lot of time, a lot of effort was put into this. Of course, I'm traveling from Michigan all the way to Wisconsin. We're talking about a 5 to 6 hour drive every single time I go to Ryan's Diesel Service to work on this truck with the guys and video everything. So a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort has been put into this. We're also going to talk about why we're doing this and how we're going to pay tribute to such a great cause. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into it.
Considering what, a day and a half ago, this was a bare frame. So, I mean, less than 2 days time, we've got a truck together that runs. It doesn't drive yet, but drive shaft and bleed brakes and just lots of little detail stuff at this point. But I mean, I think we all did a great job on this and brought it together so far. And now there's going to be a lot more to do yet, but we'll make it happen and we'll get her done. I mean, and the transmission and the rear end and all those components were built ahead of time, and even Ryan and his guys were on the motor getting all that stuff done. So I mean, yeah, Jesse's been with us here every step of the way, and you know, Beard's been helping out. Just everybody's been pitching in on this thing because it's a huge project, as you can imagine. I mean, this isn't General Motors where we got robots and stuff assembling stuff. Everything's done by hand, and everything, none of the stuff's new, so we're making it look new.
Year and a half, 2 years hasn't been, right?
It's been a couple years almost, so it's done.
Every vehicle, like, we actually had to submit this in with photos. They required that we had to send photos underneath of everything, of all the whole build and everything, to actually get entered in, because they just don't want anything rolling in here. So,
and not only that, we're going to touch on this truck behind me. This is Carrie's truck, which is actually the owner of Kodiak Truck, Mark himself, built this truck. We actually built this here on the channel as well. You guys probably remember that. The baddest dually. I don't care what you say on YouTube. No offense to anybody, but I'm going to show you guys that and why. It's going to be pretty cool. And I'm talking you up, but I mean, this is no joke, man. This thing is sweet. Look at, woo. All right, we'll talk about that here in a second. But let's talk about this LB7 Shorty Duramax, which we are going to officially call the Enforcer, and we're going to talk about exactly why. All right, you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's do it.
When you guys last seen this truck, I'm trying to think back to video, there was basically no interior in
There
it.
was a milk crate in there.
There was a milk crate.
Let's be serious.
So we literally gutted the entire interior out, right down to the dash. Every interior panel came out, the rubber floor mat came out, the seats came out. This had, I'm trying to remember, Ryan, what did this have for a console?
no, it was a work truck interior.
It was a work truck.
So there was no flip down, there was no nothing as far as that goes.
So here we go.
Let's do it. Oh man. What?
So basically, every piece, all these were done by Creative Colors International. We took all these pieces out of here. They took it, they reshot it with all the Sims. Matt O'Neill is the franchisee up here in Wisconsin. And I had him do some work for me prior, and we got to talking about this. And I said, you know, we really could use your help on this. And he goes, absolutely, I'm all in. I told him what the game plan was with the truck, and he's like, I'm all over it. So obviously, we don't have a work truck interior anymore. I put a Bose center console in it. We took the factory seats out. We reskinned it with the leather covers.
These are the seat shop.
These are the seat shop leather covers, the best out there. Headliner was completely taken down. I recovered that right in the shop. And then basically, once I got all the pieces back from Matt, we just reinstalled it. Brand new gray carpeting in there.
S&S Automotive painted this truck. They actually went into the door seams. I don't know if you guys missed that or not, but like no detail was overlooked, I guess.
A quality job, definitely. You carry the stripes right through the door jamb on everything. Even carried it through the jamb on this side all the way through. And I mean, that's a complete job. That's a no hack job there. So, you know, it shows the quality of work that they do also. I think the quality of this truck is fantastic, the way it came out. And I mean, you guys take a look, you probably got a good idea of what we did here. This is obviously a tribute to the men and women that protect us every day of the week. It's definitely a tribute to the law enforcement, and just some cool detail. Robert from S&S did the flag for us. We got the flag, he clear coated it and glued it onto the factory underlayment on the hood and everything else. And it's just, you know, it's some of them little special one-off touches that did it. We didn't cut no corners on any of the front end. The bumper, the air dam down below, all that is all brand new GM. It's not even aftermarket. The tires and wheels, those came from custom offsets. I know you kind of gave Ryan and I the green light go to pick out something.
They're actually the 20x10 negative 24 offsets, and these are some pretty slick wheels. I can't remember exactly. I think they're not Nitto 420s, they're Toyos, right?
They're the Toyo Proxies, yeah.
Proxies.
Toyo Proxies. And I'm not a big black wheel fan, to be honest with you. I'm kind of an old school guy. I like chrome and whatnot, but this truck was fitting for it. You know, every truck's got its own style, I feel, and that's what this truck needed. It needed black wheels, but yet we didn't want solid black that it just looked like a blob. We wanted to have some billet in there too. So if you look, the machine ball mill billet in there just kind of enhanced everything that we had going on.
Like we talked about the Enforcer, and the biggest reason, like he said, is the fact that we're paying tribute to the men and women that serve in law enforcement. The thin blue line flag is the theme that we were going for. Obviously, we went with that blue pinstripe going down the, I guess, the upper middle part of the truck, which looks amazing. There's also a pearlness to the truck as well. Kind of glitters in the sun. It looks beautiful. But we do have an HSP high flow bundle kit, and it's basically just the intake, hot side, cold side, as well as the front thermostat housing, as you guys can see here. And the emblems themselves are actually gloss black. Everything was powder coated and housed in Memphis, Michigan at HSP Diesel. And those guys were actually really, really nice. They were able to get this done and knocked out for us in time for us to be able to get this truck in to Ryan's Diesel Service in order to get everything assembled. Of course, we have studs in that thing. I mean, you know, every single bolt in this truck was cabinet blasted, either powder coated or painted. This thing was done right, man. I think this is definitely done better than the Victory Max.
Oh, absolutely. We took this down a lot further than the Victory Max, too. Not that that's not a nice truck. I mean, we just took that to the point where we blasted the chassis and painted it and then started putting everything back on it. Where in this case, we took it to a bare chassis. We took every bushing out of it, every nut, every bolt, and went through it thoroughly. So, yeah, there was a lot more time, a lot more detail. In essence, it should have been less parts being a two-wheel drive truck, but we definitely had more time and more parts in this.
What I didn't video was the hours and hours and hours of relooming, basically doing dishes for hours, and cleaning and tearing. Like, you tore the trans down. You probably have 10 to 12 hours in that transmission, I'd imagine.
Probably about 10. 10? Yeah, because there was a lot of detail in there, too. I mean, they seen that when it was done, how it was painted and everything else, and you know, that was all done with primer and paint on the transmission. We didn't powder coat that. I was a little sketched out on powder coating that because powder coat gets pretty warm, and you got to be careful with that main case because you got apply pistons that ride and bores, and I know people do it, but I didn't want the thing to fail. So, yeah.
I don't think anyone would blame you for that, Mark. But like I said, this thing is beautiful, and if you saw this in person, it's jaw-dropping, guys. I am so happy with how this truck turned out.
Probably one of the nicer trucks that we've done so far, and it's just fun doing it. I mean, you can't. There's a sense of pride you take when you're doing this stuff, and that's, I guess, what it's all about. The nicer it gets, the more proud you are of it that you accomplished something.
So on the way here, the wife, she's actually here with me, Mrs. Truckmaster, and we were talking about the Victory Max, the 2-3 years back then when we put that truck together, and we were coming up with a name. We couldn't come up with a name, but we wanted to be patriotic. I think we were kind of bouncing back and forth. I think eventually Melanie came up with the name Victory Max. I don't know if you remember that, and we went with it. We're calling it the Enforcer, but it's a Shorty Duramax. So we had this conversation on the truck on the 5-6 hour trip on the way here.
Yeah, I just told Mark, I was like, Mark, it needs to be called the Shorty. Because I'm like, everybody knows it as a Shorty. But
we got to call it the Enforcer.
I get the theme.
Mark's
got this theme going. We all got the theme going. But I'm like, I only know it as the Shorty. And I think everybody else and the viewers, because I haven't been, part of the build or anything. So as a viewer, sort of, I just know it as a Shorty.
It's a Shorty.
Yeah.
But it might have just transitioned to the Enforcer.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Is it transgender?
It does not identify as a Powerstroke.
Oh, I think people are going to unsubscribe now, but that's all right. I'll leave it in the video. Let me know in the comments, guys. I'm going to address it as the Shorty, but I'm also going to address it as the Enforcer. By far, and I just said it about the red LOY we're going to talk about here in a very quick second, by far the coolest, cleanest Shorty build you're ever going to find on YouTube. And only because we spent so much time, so much man hours in getting this thing ready for this truck event. And you guys are going to be seeing more of this on the channel, so definitely stay tuned. And also a big reason why we built this truck, which will be coming up to you guys very shortly as well. But let me know in the comments what you think. Should we just stick with a Shorty, Duramax, Shorty Max, or should we stick with Enforcer? We're going to stick with Enforcer. That's the name of it. But how should we name this truck? Let me know. Didn't go with Boost Auto Parts mirrors. We went with these cool sport mirrors. We had them painted. It's pretty sweet. We didn't want to go with tow mirrors only because I think it would look really dumb. I mean, think about it. Going with tow mirrors, it would look like a big Mickey Mouse truck. Let's be real here.
Yeah, and we love Boost mirrors, don't get me wrong. And I know Boost would have been more than happy to work with us on this. I know they would have. They're a great company. But bottom line is, this was more of a sporty truck. Boost mirrors are definitely for your trucks that tow and so on and so forth. There's not even a trailer hitch on this truck, nor are we going to put one on it.
Oh, this is more get all upset, but
this is more of a
show truck,
rip around town, sport looking truck. So I think that mirror is a little more fitting. It's not so gargantuan hanging off the side of the door. Makes it a little bit more sleek.
Definitely.
So Boost, if you're watching this, think about doing some of those mirrors.
Doing some sleek. Look at that, guys. He's right.
You can build them way better.
Put some switchbacks on the ends of them. Pretty cool. All right, Ryan. Estimated horsepower and torque. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say it's probably based on the setup. I mean, that's a pretty proven setup. The 45 overs, the Sportsman CP3 64 millimeter turbo
With the built trans triple disc converter.
Yeah, all that. I mean, I would say probably estimated somewhere about 650 rural horsepower. Yeah, that's a pretty common setup. Then that's generally the power that we see as far as that goes.
I'd imagine she can easily hit 1,000 foot-pounds.
Oh yeah. Yep, absolutely.
This is gonna be a ripper. I can't wait till we can actually get it on the road without having salt. This sucks.
Like, hopefully winter's over pretty quick and we start playing with it.
The Mighty Lifted 2005 LOY Duramax that was built for Mark's wife. And a long history. What I'll do, we won't go into that. I'm going to leave a link in the description of the full build video on this truck and the story behind it. I think it's pretty touching and pretty cool. Everyone's asking about this bed, man. Like, it's a 6-foot bed with a crew cab, which is very sought after. Most of these trucks are 8-foot beds.
Right. So it's definitely a one-off deal. And it's kind of interesting because Tyler had just put a post on Facebook last night. Some guy asked about doing a crew cab short bed, and Tyler posted a picture of it, our service manager. And then somebody asked right away, he goes, they look like OBS style fenders, which would have been from like a 2000 back dually and whatnot. And that is kind of the style they are. The company that made these back in the day was called Aerocraft Industries in Michigan. I went on their website then and looked, and I don't see the fenders on there anymore. All I see are their dually adapters, their kits that they take a 3/4 ton and make it a dually. And that's what somebody had did with this truck when I bought it from auction. But as you guys probably seen in some of the prior videos, I put a real dually rear end underneath here. I took the adapters off. I did put the factory adapters up front because that's how they do it. But I wanted this true one-ton stuff underneath here. I didn't want all these adapters on it. So, yeah, it's a unique truck. Watch the other video that he's putting the link in the description, and you get the whole backstory on everything as to why I did it and how we came about it.
It actually has some really cool old school Alcoa wheels, if I'm not mistaken, on 37s.
Yeah,
is that right?
They're about a 36.5-inch tall Super Swamper TSL. They're not even radials, they're bias. And they're a little lumpy bumpy going down the road, but that's the cool factor. It's like when you're a teenager. Mud tires are nice. It's fun, and I tell you what, this truck moves out pretty good for what it is. I think there'll probably be another video or two or something added to this one potentially, because we definitely got some
more
HSP goodies.
Yes,
I'll leave it at that.
Tuned for that.
So,
what size turbo is in this thing? I can't remember.
This is a 64 mil.
64 mil.
It's on stock fueling. There's nothing crazy really done to it. The motor's studded. PPE up pipes. Again, nothing real crazy. I wanted just a nice, cool, reliable driver. Turbo screams like all the RDS turbos do. Sound like they're going to rip the passenger right through the floorboard, which is pretty slick. Yeah, obviously, if you watch the videos prior to, the truck was originally two-wheel drive, then we made four-wheel. And everything operates on it properly. I built a harness. It's a floor shift case. I wanted simplicity. Again, everything's done and it works the way it should.
How do you convert a two-wheel drive pickup truck to a four-wheel drive truck? Again, I'll leave that link in the description as well, because we did do a quick 5-minute YouTube video, or just a quick rundown on exactly how he was able to knock this out. I mean, we won't go into that. It's kind of lengthy, but it's better to see this video so you can see it, because at that point we actually had it down to chassis. If I'm not mistaken, I think we just had the cab off.
Yeah, the cab was, the whole body was off.
Yeah, so you're talking about the dog bone and the front, basically nubbing off the front end of another four-wheel drive truck. Just check that video out. It's pretty interesting.
Well, guys, here we are the next day. We just came in. It's Sunday. This is the last day of the show. And as we walked up, we actually saw first place plaque sitting there for the Enforcer here on its class. We also found, too, that the Red Dually here also got one for its class. So very cool. These trucks really came out good, and we're pretty happy to see that.
So that'll conclude this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching till the end, and as you guys just saw there, we took first place in the car show. That's pretty sweet. Hey, do me a favor, if you enjoyed the content, definitely hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, because we have a lot more awesome videos headed your way. But with all that being said, we'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned.